Hi there, and welcome to No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
I'm Jason Hill,
And I'm James Blackburn.
and on this week's episode, we're going to discuss electricity,
Yes,
Or-
the lack thereof.
the lack thereof. What happens if all of a sudden the power goes out? And there's a lot of things to consider when that happens.
Yep.
And one of the things that we're going to talk about is some of the items that you might not think of that you're going to lose. What are you going to lose when the power goes out? It's not just lights.
Right, well, lights is the most obvious one, but you can also lose your source of heat for your home. Obviously.
Which would be a huge factor in the wintertime.
Yep.
If you that's your only heat source. If you don't have a fireplace or something, losing your heat is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and in some parts of this world, it's so cold that could literally be a deadly thing. So,
It can.
yep.
Temperature, maintaining your body temperature, and hypothermia sets in. It's a quick killer.
Yep.
And so, with that in mind, having blankets and extra warm gear in case that happens is always a big plus.
Yep, which is where the sleeping bags really come in handy, not just for camping. If you need them in an emergency situation, even in your home, it would really help out a lot.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that you lose the ability to do is cook when there's no power. A lot of times, that is a big issue.
Yeah, if you have an electric range. Now, a lot of people do have gas stoves, and that's great. But for those that have an electric stove, then yeah, you've lost your power to cook, but you've also lost your power to purify water, which if you're in the survival mode, you'll
Yep.
need to do. And so you have to think about what backups do we have that will allow us to cook. Do you
Very
have
true.
a propane grill out in the yard?
Yes, I do. I have a grill in the back, as
Well,
well
why
as
don't
our
you bring
camp
it?
stoves. Well, I'll bring it next time.
Cook up some steaks.
Well, and speaking of grilling, another thing when you lose power is you lose your ability to store food with electronic devices such as a refrigerator or a freezer. And we were taught about that on another episode that, you don't have power, keep that refrigerator and freezer door closed as long as possible.
That's right.
So that you can keep that coolness in there as long as you can until either A, the power comes back on, or B, you eat everything that's in there before it spoils.
That's right. And you want to start with the refrigerator because obviously those items are going to spoil
Yep.
quicker. So open it up, grab some food, close it, eat up those items. Then you can go to the freezer items. And another little trick in your freezer is as you're reducing the amount is to pack them all close to each other because they maintain their core temperature
Yeah, exactly.
as opposed to being spread out in the
Yeah,
freezer.
they help to insulate one another and keep frozen longer.
Yeah.
Now, another thing we lose when we lose power, can't wash our laundry.
That's true.
And that falls under the sanitation thing of the 6 core areas that we talked about on previous episodes. Cleanliness, it's very important.
It's really important. And a lot of the things that we're discussing are for extended crises or natural disasters. Most people can get by for a day or two, but if you had to go 2 weeks and you don't have any way of cleaning your clothes, etc.,
Yep.
those are some things to think about.
And especially if you've worn them more than once or even several times, it could really start to have some issues with it.
Now, what's another thing that people take for granted with electricity when it comes to bathing?
Well,
The hot water.
hot water heater. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't even thought about that. That is, even though it's gas powered to heat it up, it still needs electricity though too.
That's right. And so, if it is the dead of winter and the only water you have is freezing cold water, you have to be prepared to bathe or whatever you're going to do and dry off quick and get warm
And
again.
guys like us, we've bathed in really cold streams and rivers, so we're kind of prepared for it, but
Sure.
the average person may be a little bit of a shock.
Yeah. And
Another thing, too, about losing power is you lose the ability for communication.
How are you going to get your news? How are you going to get updates about what's going on, Those things are all important. And so when we come back, we're going to focus on a lot of those items. What can you do when your electricity goes out? What are some different alternate power sources that you can
Yep.
use? We're also going to have a special guest joining us, and we're going to get some insight on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And,
Tune back after the break because, like he said, we have a special guest, and we're really looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So yeah, the food, so many people.
Yeah, exactly.
And hi, welcome back to No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
I'm Jason Hill.
I'm James Blackburn. Welcome.
Welcome. And what we're talking about is electricity and the loss of it in case of a natural disaster or crisis.
And in the last segment, we talked about a lot of variety of things that can happen as a result of not having the electricity. But now I think we can focus a little bit more on some of the techniques that we can use for this sort of emergency situation.
Sure. How are you going to stay warm? How are you going to have communications? All those types of things are really important,
Yep.
especially to have them in place before something happens.
Exactly, which brings us to the first thing on the list that's the most common thing you get asked about not having electricity is the lack of light. Now,
Yep.
during the daytime, it doesn't matter that much, but when it gets night out and there's no electricity and no street lights, you'll find out what the true meaning of darkness is.
That's right.
And so, what are some of the techniques or tools that we can use that are non-electrical?
Well, there's the old standby candles. Having candles and matches, they burn for a long time. They give just enough light to where you can maneuver, but not sending out this huge signal. Flashlights
Yep.
and batteries. Having extra batteries for those flashlights because you don't know how long your electricity is going to be out.
Yes, that's very true. And another thing that is a common thing from the old pioneer days is the oil lantern.
Correct.
And I actually have one over here. Let me
You wanna
it
grab that real quick?
I'll show it to you. Now these, this one's a little bit older and beaten, but the idea is solid that you can use this for light, provided you have the fuel for it.
Correct, and those work off of kerosene. There's also oil lamps that are similar, and you can go to your local department store and they sell these big bottles of the oil, and it burns pretty clean and provides a lot of light.
Yep, and our pioneer ancestors used this technique almost exclusively.
Hey,
Hey guys. Looks like we're talking about light right
Yes.
at the moment. Well, I have our special guest here with us, and Josh, you want to come on in? This is Josh. I'm gonna go keep
Hey.
working on the.
come on over here, Josh.
So
Hey there.
I'm gonna be coming back here in just a few, so I'll leave the three of you alone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Danny Lansky, our co-host.
Yes, round of applause.
Round of applause.
Yay.
So, welcome. Why don't you tell us your full name and the troop that you're with?
All right, well, my name is Joshua Leininger, and I'm with Troop 166 in New Mexico.
Fantastic. And how do you like the Boy Scouts? It looks like you're really accomplished.
Well, I mean, Boy Scouts is a wonderful thing to get involved with. It helps you outdoors and indoors. It helps you get active with the people around you and be able to understand different things that the average person might not know.
That's right. And you do a lot of stuff with the community as well, which is another
Yes.
aspect that's fantastic. Now, we're discussing, before James tears apart everything here, but we're
Sorry.
discussing some ways that with the lights, if the lights went out, some alternate light sources. But heat is going to be another big one.
All right.
What do you think might be some good ideas for generating heat if all of a sudden the electricity goes out?
All right. Well, the first thing that I would recommend is a sleeping bag during the night, especially because of the fact that the degrees, especially in New Mexico or any other place that you are at, it will get colder and it will become a much greater disadvantage to many people.
Sure, the temperature can drop 30 degrees really quick here.
Oh yeah. And then the second thing that I would prefer is maybe a blanket as well. Those things will keep you real warm and real cozy during the night and even during the day if it's cold enough. During the winter especially, it's good to have some sort of a propane heater or something of the sort that you can also refuel.
That's right. And you want to be careful with fumes with some of these
Yeah.
sources. So like if you have a barbecue grill, you don't want to just pull it in your house and
Yeah,
light it up
definitely,
because
definitely.
those fumes can get to you.
Yeah.
And then as far as the blankets, wool blankets are really good because they have a high insulation factor. And even if they get wet, they still insulate you. So
Definitely.
now, we talked a little bit about light and heat. is there anything in particular that you do around your house as far as preparations go to, in case something happened?
Well, the main thing that I would really recommend is to have wool socks in the drawers or whatever. Those will really help keep you warm, especially since a lot of the heat that you produce goes through your feet. It'll help keep you warmer during the night. Another thing that I would recommend is probably somewhere close to, once again, like a propane heater or something of the sort. That way, if the power does go out or anything of the sort, you can be able to have that and be able to stay warm throughout the house.
Do you have a fireplace in your home?
No, I do not.
No, a lot of people do, and that's a good way
Yeah.
to not only generate heat, but to be able to have a way of cooking and for purifying or boiling that water that you're going to need during a crisis situation. But you have to have the fuel for it. So sometime during, you got to stockpile that wood and go out there and,
definitely.
and chop up the wood.
Definitely.
Now, communication is going to be another big factor. And so radios that are hand crank radios or solar,
Definitely.
those are good. Do you have one at your house?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic.
Right.
I love it. Boy Scout motto is?
Be prepared.
Love it. And that's what this is all about, is having these items in your home are ready to go before something happens.
Yes,
So that
definitely.
you have a little bit of peace of mind. You're not panicking, you know.
Definitely expect the unexpected, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So what other items might you need if the power goes out? What else is it going to affect?
Well,
Your
trying
peace
to
of
remember. Yeah, peace
your
of mind.
peace of
definitely.
mind.
Yeah.
You know, we rely so heavily on light that having something, even as simple as a glow stick. Do you take glow sticks when you go
Yes,
camping?
I do.
They're a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah, they're real fun to play with, and they provide a source of light.
You know what's really cool is getting a camera with slow exposure and
Oh, yeah.
drawing words with 'em.
Yeah.
I do that on my camping
Yeah.
trips.
Yeah, that's a good
awesome.
survival.
You never
technique.
gets old, huh?
Yeah, and like you said, peace of mind. If you're in an emergency situation and you can have a moment where you can actually have a lighthearted, fun time, then it may actually make the situation a lot nicer.
That's right. You got to remain calm even in a stressful situation. Would you agree?
Definitely. Yes, I do agree.
All right. Now, we talked a little bit about flashlights, and one of the fun things that we're going to do in our next segment is we're going to have a competition, and I'm
All right.
hoping you're going to join in, but we're going to assemble a flashlight blindfolded.
All right.
And so we're
Sounds like
we're going to
fun.
assume that the lights went out and you had soap in your eyes from the shower,
Okay.
and then you stumble over to your closet where you know you have your stuff, and for some reason,
Okay.
one of your family members disassembled them, you know, and that's gonna.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
That's what I have.
Hey.
I have our beginner's box. How about you come over here? And
Beginner's
All
box,
right.
beginner's box.
Beginner's box.
Sounds wonderful.
So, and normally the stuff in the beginner's box stays in the box, but this was just entertaining. But so the beginner's box of this episode is to really show all the items that you need for when the power goes out, electricity, whatnot.
All right.
And so one thing, this is actually the last thing that I ended up putting in there. I saw these in the back and I thought, you know, we need some candles. So I'd say number one is candles. To
Definitely.
really have, that way you can read your book, do whatever. My mom collects oil lamps, and so I mean we have so much light if the power ever goes out that it's, oh, you don't ever need to worry. And she's gotten me into that habit of collecting
Having
as well.
something is better than nothing.
Exactly, exactly. And so next we have in these two Ziploc bags, as I know that we're going to get into a contest later. Pretend these are put together, but these are flashlights.
Those are disassembled
Actually,
flashlights.
You know what? There it is. Would you grab me that orange flashlight if you want to? Everyone should know what a flashlight looks like, but you know,
Yeah,
ta-da,
there you
I'll
go.
This
put
is
together,
actually a symbol
but-
flashlight that works.
Yes, and there are
it's-
different kinds of flashlights as well. And there it is. There it is. This one here. Do you want to show us what that guy is?
This is just a solar flashlight. It's got just a little solar panel built into it, and you leave this out in the sun all day long, and then
Ideally, you don't want to do that, and then you're seeing stars
Um,
when there's no light.
But yeah, these are really great because you can tie it onto your backpack or something if you're out hiking, or just set it on a windowsill. It'll charge, and then all night long you have some light. LEDs, they last a long time,
Yeah.
and you have a renewable source of energy as long as the sun's shining.
Yep. And if you don't have, a solar powered, and you have just regular flashlights, what you should always have in the box are batteries. Whatever batteries that your flashlight takes,
Yep.
you got to have it, because then you're just completely out of luck without any kind of battery.
That's right.
And so, I think I'm gonna. Oh, we have what looks like almost a little otter pop or something. A little
Glow stick.
Glow
Glow
stick.
stick. Glow
Yeah. I think I'm gonna hand that to you.
Sounds
Our
fun.
favorites.
Yes, not just a party favor. But this guy, holy cow, is quite complicated. Excuse me. I'm gonna hand this over here.
Oh, this is just a portable solar panel. These are great because you can charge things, and they have all these little attachments. And so I actually have my ham radio, and I'm licensed, and so I have a form of communication if electricity or power goes out, or my cell phone. And so I can charge this with the attachments. I can also charge batteries as long as I have sun.
Yep.
And it's renewable, so I'll always have communication. I'll always have light from the charged batteries.
Yep.
And it's really lightweight. They're just a great thing to have.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really interesting point. As you mentioned, if you don't have a cell phone, whatnot, a lot of folks nowadays have, a car charger for their cell phone, which is great. But if you're the one, sorry sucker with the 200-year-old tree in your front yard that takes out your car, you might not have
Yeah.
that car
Right,
battery
definitely.
to charge your cell
Yeah, that's
phone
really
with.
neat.
So it's good to have these different items just
Yep.
in case.
That ham radio, is that ham and cheese?
But
This is just a ham radio. But stick with us. When we come back from the break, we're going to have our competition, and we're going to see whether James or our scout are going to assemble this flashlight the quickest. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have them blindfolded.
Yep.
Ready for this. Should get a timer
Better watch
for
out.
this.
Hi, welcome back to No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
I'm Jason Hill,
I'm James Blackburn.
Danny Linsky.
and
Josh.
One names are the best names.
Right?
Josh, take that.
kind of like
Yeah, there you
Beyonce. He's got a movie
Enough
star.
said.
Yeah.
Enough said.
So in this episode, we were talking about electricity or lack thereof. When the power goes out, some things that you could do to stay warm, to have communication, to maintain your food, which is going to go bad, and all those good things. But I wanted to talk real quick to you about what
right.
you're doing, because you're almost an Eagle Scout.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have a lot of respect for the Boy Scouts. I grew up in it as well. And so tell us a little bit about the community service project you're doing.
All right, well, an Eagle Scout project basically consists of giving community service for the others and being able to help the needy. So what I decided to do is, since I live in Harris, New Mexico, I decided to figure out what was in there and try to get around the community a little bit. So I called around, and I finally hooked up with one of my troop members, and he told me about a group called Route 66 Community Gardens. And from there, they asked me a whole bunch of different stories, and after a little while, I figured out that they were in need of a shed. So I decided
Sweet.
to get in and get busy, and so now we have, we almost have enough money to raise the shed, and then we'll have all the materials and be able to build that. It also helps with the school that they have there as well. It helps the kids get into a better environmental activity, and just helps them with their gardening skills and
Nice.
getting out there and getting busy.
Are you going to be swinging the hammer, actually helping build the shed?
Well, I mean, my part is just to stand back and take a look at things and help out the guys.
That's
You
a true
delegate,
leader
you know?
right there. I'm going to
Exactly,
delegate
exactly.
Awesome.
You
Well,
just
nice
make sure
job.
point.
it. So,
Oh, yeah,
so being
definitely.
with the Boy Scouts, who's like the leader of like all the Boy Scouts?
All the Boy Scouts,
Yeah.
the entire nation.
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't it some famous TV guy?
something or other. I mean, the guy that I know most well for me in my troop, he leads the troop very well. His name is Kurt.
Oh, no, I'm talking about worldwide. Who's the head of the Boy Scouts
Well,
worldwide?
Well, he meets
That
them
one I
every other
do not
day.
know.
Bear Grylls, right?
Bear Grylls.
Well,
Do you ever watch them?
yes, I do from time to time.
Great, great. Well, one of the nice things about this show is that Gerber sent us a bunch of stuff that we could use on the show. And I was thinking that since you're out in the wilderness and you're doing Boy Scout stuff and camping, that you need to have some good tools. And so I just happen to have here the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife, which is yours. And we want to
Wow.
thank you very much for being on the
Thank
show and for the
Thank you
work
very
that you're
much.
doing with the community. It's fantastic, and we're all about promoting that.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you
So,
so
you're
much.
well
on
I
your
way.
appreciate it.
Now, competition. We have a competition coming up. We should get that started. So
All right.
we're
Yeah.
going to have you go against James.
Pop this out here for now.
Now,
All right.
you notice we're putting on blindfolds. This is to make it seem like we have no electricity and it's the middle of the night and it's dark.
Blind.
So here we go.
Ruh-roh.
All right, here we go.
You know, with that said, I think I'm going to come on the outside, and if you want to step to the right a little bit, that way,
Okay.
you might actually be able
I can't
to
see nothing.
attach. Oh, yeah,
right,
here,
let's
I'm trying
see
to take
this.
stuff out. Do they want to pull it
Okay,
straight
hold
out
on.
from the bag, or do we want to
Yeah.
take it out for them?
No, no, no. We're going to let them go all by themselves. This is
All
going to be a
Okay.
riot, I think. So, on your mark, get set, go.
All right,
Wow, he's already got half the
get a
stuff out.
feel for this piece.
You know, the really.
Man.
Oh,
Something
going.
fell.
We'll be the, if anything falls, we'll catch it for you so you don't hit your head on the top of the table.
the really nice thing about this is they haven't
Huh.
seen these flashlights prior
Yep.
to this, so this is completely, you know, just random. I'm loving this. And dun 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 dun
But
dun.
I'm missing something. There we go.
This is great.
Oh, there it is. Did I lose the battery?
Maybe.
You know, the fun thing is
Hold
to see
on.
if they put the batteries
I don't
even
wanna
in
accidentally
correctly.
grab you
Yeah,
in the
I'm,
See if
wrong
the
I'm
light
waiting to
works.
see if that even turns on. We will see. Oh,
Is it
well,
working?
hey.
Oh, I got light.
dang, within
Was it a
seconds,
tie?
Within seconds of each other.
Awesome.
That was pretty darn
All
close.
right,
That
good
was
job.
Awesome. Sorry, but he still gets the knife. I
All right,
suppose.
take
But
the
you-
blindfolds off.
but-
Well, it's a lot brighter in here now, ain't it?
Well, that was fantastic. I'm super impressed because,
I thought this was going to take twice as long.
you know, I mean, these flashlights are fairly easy. You know, most people have used one before, but to just walk right in and not ever touch it and get it together and we're good.
Way to show them up. Well, and these flashlights are perfect as well, as we were talking earlier about making sure that you're able to light your home. It's always good to have something, you know, by your bed or whatnot, because it always seems that it's dark when the
Oh, yeah,
power goes out,
definitely.
you know. And so if you have something by your bed, my family would always have one in the bathroom as well, you know, just in case. And that way you have something that you always know you keep it in the same spot, you know.
And that's an awesome point, is you don't know when the electricity is going to go out or what part of the home you're going to be in. So having an area staged with all your candles and batteries, your beginner's box items, to where everyone knows where that's at. And then in addition to that, have a flashlight like next to your bed to where you can navigate to wherever that closet is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And always knowing where it's at is just critical.
Yep. And ideally, I mean, you wouldn't really want to try and put a flashlight together blindfolded, but you know, if you
Yeah.
ever have that opportunity, you know, I should say the incident is probably a better word for it, where you go to grab for your flashlight and somebody didn't, you know, screw it on properly, and you grab for it and you hear thunk, thunk, thunk. Oh no! So this,
Yeah.
you might want to practice it at home, ladies and gents. I mean, this is
Yeah.
testament that it shouldn't be too hard, but
Great.
you never know.
Well, it's never a bad idea to have a flashlight in the main rooms that you have in your house. A lot of people spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I always keep an extra flashlight in there as well.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like you said, right next to the bed.
this is
a
a-
good idea.
Fantastic episode. Danny, you want to tell folks how they can find out about
absolutely.
us?
Oh,
over here.
Oh,
with
take the
that,
master spot.
Take the center.
Right in the center of camera. She's
All right.
special.
Well, if you would like to know more about us, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/NoJokeSurvival. There you can shoot us any questions if you wanted to know anything more about some of the items that we used. You can also visit our website at nojokesurvival.com. There you can find links for our videos to YouTube. And so come back next week, hope you do, when we discuss what to do when you want to work on food storage.
Food storage.
Yes, food storage.
And check out your local community if you want to
Sounds
find
good.
out more about the Boy Scouts.
Well, there you go.
Good job.
Thanks.
Guys. That's a nice
This is
episode.
awesome, man.
And some of these other ones right here, we have things falling on the ground. Oh, I think I may have wet myself a little bit.
If you're up on a mountain, you may want to go down into a valley, or observe the area. Some lime.
Oh my God, what is that? What is that, dude? I think
Probably a Sasquatch. They're all over the place.
this is important. You don't want to wipe your backside with something that might be poisonous.
What you want to do is literally just sit down and listen.
I kind of blew my way through there pretty badly. There was a lot of outtakes. It's back, dude! It's back! Ah! Where is it? There it goes!
That's awesome. You never know what you're gonna find in the wild. I love it. Or some sort of area where you're gonna find people and be rescued.
Oh, man, that hurts! And now for a blooper.
I literally got ants in my pants. While I was talking, I could feel them crawling down my butt crack.